welcome to another episode of 4TimsMatchReaction podcast. It's just a wee match reaction episode to last night's victory against St Mirren, and we'll get a wee preview into the Livingston game that's coming up on Sunday. Myself, Darren, is here, and it's just the two of us tonight. It's myself and Danny. Danny, it's only two of us, but at least it's the best two, and we're back to discuss a Celtic win. What did you make of last night?
Aye, better be us two than the other two, who are no doubt out disgracing the podcast in front of the Celtic manager right now. Last night was good. I thought it was a good win. You're at that point in the season where you just need to get 3 points by hook or by crook, and first half was a wee bit edgy. I think the crowd were desperate for that first goal. I thought the play I actually thought it was a lot better than it was on Sunday. I thought some of the passing last night in the first half was really good. Some really good moves. The ball just wouldn't break to us. Maya did a couple of openings. I think he did a fresh air swipe at the ball twice, but we did open St Mirren up a wee bit. I mean, it was all about getting that first goal, and thankfully we got it not too far into the second half. We cut Vickers, but I thought, like we were talking to you before you hit record there, we were never really in any danger of losing the game. I think St Mirren were up the park once in the first half, and Starfelt with a really good block, and then Hart finished it very brave bit of goalkeeping. But apart from that, it was always a question of can Celtic break St Mirren down. I didn't think Celtic were in any danger, and then when we got the first goal, you can relax a wee bit, you can play a wee bit better football. The fans are a wee bit off your back a wee bit. They're more, again, you want to win the game now, to go on and hold out, and then you get the second goal with 10 minutes to go, and you can just breathe. You could feel the relief around the stadium, because it's been a long time since 14 years since we came in top of one of these nervy run-ins, and who knows, we might pull away, we might fall away, but it's been a long time since we actually came out on top during one of these close run-ins, so you can understand the nerves for everybody. I mean, I think I couldn't tell. I mean, even the Rangers game, even at 3-0 up at half time, and you're thinking go beat them by 5 or 6, I'm sitting thinking I'll take 3-0 now. Just gives 3 points to let us go top of the league. Don't think I'm enjoying any of it at the minute, but do you know what, it's great. The team are out there fighting, and it was a good one last night, because after drawing at Hibs and the disappointment of that, and it's a winning sequence that's been broken up, but to go again, and you don't want to, you don't let that become a habit. It's start a new winning run, and we done that when Livingston beat us. We started a new winning run, and then when St Mirren, we drew with St Mirren ironically in December. We've won every game since, so let's hope we win every game at the end of the season now, and starting with last night, which was routine win, which is all you can ask for at this stage in the season.
Absolutely. I think that, as you say, it was all about bouncing back from the Hibs disappointment on Sunday. I know when we recorded, Tony had already gave Rangers the 3 points, so thankfully Motherwell were able to do us a favour, so it didn't cause too much damage. I know some people will look at it as a chance that we might have extended the lead, but that's all ifs and buts. But last night I thought we were decent enough. The first half it's just the sort of way. I don't know what people are expecting. I know at the start of the season we hammered a few teams, St Mirren included. But see, when these teams come with such a low block, and they've got 10 men behind the ball, and they're just well organised, and St Mirren are having a decent season. They're right up there challenging for the top 6, and I don't think you can really expect. I know we went to 3 games in a row where we were 3-0 up at half time twice, and 2-0 up at Pittodrie at half time, but at times you're going to have these type of games, and the performance I thought was alright. We spoke about it the other day, but I think Dyson Maeda is getting a lot of unnecessary criticism. I think he's playing well enough. He wins a lot in the air, he chases things down. I think maybe the problem we're having now is I don't think that the team's really playing to his strengths, but I thought he put in a good shift. I know the only change from Sunday was Matt Riley coming in for Tom Rogic, and I thought O'Reilly was alright, and Hatate seemed I think the problem that Hatate's having is that people have seen how good he can be, so when he's not up to their levels, that people are just getting a bit frustrated. I know it was the same again last night in the first half when he sort of misplaced a few passes. I think he sort of set a standard for himself that, if you're being honest, it probably would have been pretty impossible to maintain. When you think about that Hibs debut and then getting his goal at Tynecastle and the double against Rangers, he really put himself, he set himself a high standard, so I think this is just sort of evening out at the moment. But the first half, you've got, I think it's Dunn that put one off his own crossbar, and then I think Anik had a good save from Abada as well. I thought Celtic were alright. They probably about the only sort of clear cut chances we had, but I thought, we were, as you said, we were speaking off air, we were never really in danger. And the half-time whistle went. There was maybe a few groans, but I think the fans realised they had to stay with the team, because this is that when we were playing, it was 10 matches to go in the league. You're going to have games like this where it really is just about seeing the result in. And Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's somebody who has been a great signing for Celtic, and he came up with another important goal. I remember his first goal, I think it was, I can't remember if it was St Johnstone or Ross County at home. I feel like it was one of them, and he had a deflected shot that opened the scoring in the second half of that game. It's another goal that he's come up with that's not going to prove pivotal. It already has, because it broke the deadlock last night, and I thought it was quite funny after all we've heard that it came from a set piece that we got the goal. I know the ball was put in, I think it was Starfelt who was up with Gogic, and then obviously Carter Vickers gets to the second ball, and it's a well struck finish. And I'm giving Celtic praise for scoring from that, but I thought that's maybe the one thing that you're sort of missing, like somebody like David Turnbull for the news, his sort of set piece delivery, because I thought we were really poor. Like there was one last night where we got it and we played it short, and about 5 seconds later, Cal McGregor had lost the ball and get booked for bringing somebody down as they tried to break into their half, which was, I think it sort of summed their set pieces up recently. But no, Cal McGregor, as I've mentioned him there, he obviously got an important second goal as well. She didn't want a sort of a nervy finish, and his well-struck finish really did seal it. And as I say, I think you don't want to be disrespectful to people, Danny, but as you say, it's been sort of 14, 15 years since Celtic fans have really had this sort of title race that goes into the split, goes to like the sort of last couple of games, and I think it's only natural that people are going to overreact to these things. Like, I know I'm a bit older than some of the people that maybe haven't seen, or maybe they were, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old when the last time, like, so it's guys in their mid-20s now who are probably only really experiencing this sort of title race for the first time. But I thought we were never really in danger. I think Joe Hart had one maybe sort of half chance that he smothered in the first half, but apart from that, he was relatively untested. But aye, Danny, anything else you want to add? I thought it was quite telling last night the Karamoko came on. I know we put up on the Twitter, Tony was at the press conference pre-match for it, and Ange had spoke a lot about when he was asked about Karamoko, saying how he's only really interested in players that who see the future at Celtic, and who that's the only way he'll invest time and opportunity in them. That sort of gave me a bit of hope that when Karamoko came on last night, that possibly he could extend his stay. I think he's out of contract at the end of the season, so the fact that Ange is giving him minutes sort of gives me a bit of hope for that.
Aye, it was good to see him get on. I think he's, for the last couple of years we've been wondering if he was going to kind of be one of the kind of flops that don't realise their potential, and I don't think the situation at the club was right for him. It's tough to bring in youngsters no matter how good they are when you're going for 9 and 10 in a row, and I think it just the environment around the club probably just wasn't right for somebody like that to break through, unless we're particularly needing it, but we didn't really need a winger. We had Forrest, who was playing really well, you had Roberts at the time, you had Sinclair, and then they were going out and spending like $2.5 million on players like Shred and stuff, so I don't think the environment was right for him. But no, maybe you never know, he can get around the team, and I've always wanted it to work for Karamoko Dembélé. I've always wanted him to break through and be that player that we've seen him at younger levels. I think he's got an awful lot of confidence about him, and at the fleeting performance that we did get when he played against Hearts a couple of years ago for 45 minutes, he was outstanding. He gave that boy Hickey an absolute doing, and that Hickey will probably move on for about 10-15 million in the next couple of years. So if he can get back to enjoying himself, and let's be honest, it was a ridiculous tackle on him in a pre-season friendly. Otherwise, he might be a big part of this team already, because we're certainly looking for a contribution for players like him, and it was kind of cruelly injured, fucking nonsense tackle now behind the doors, behind fucking closed doors pre-season friendly. So for him to come on, and it was only about 8-9 minutes, I know he get booked. I thought it was a really harsh booking. I know you said at the game you thought it was textbook, but I thought he was just running back when he interested in the guy, and the boys just ran across him and fell over. Thought it was a poor booking, but hopefully he could still be the hero. He could still be the hero towards the end of the season. He could score a big goal coming off the bench or whatever. But I think we do, as much as people have said since January, our squad's looking a lot better. I think it's not particularly great yet. I still think you need more players. So if Karamoko Dembélé can kind of come out the shadows a wee bit and play his way into the team, or play his way into coming off the bench more often with 25-30 minutes to go, it's only going to be good for us in this season, and certainly in the long run. And I think his contract's contracts up at the end of the season. I really hope he signs a new one instead, because I look at what Ange has done with players like Abada and Jota, and I think, why could he not do it with Dembélé? But you'll just need to wait and see. I don't think he'll start. He'll be starting on Sunday. That's what he'll probably be on the bench. But I'd love to see him really make an impact at some point in the next couple of months.
I think everybody sort of had that opinion, like, well, you've heard about this boy since he was about 13 years old when he was playing in the reserve team, I think it was at the time, and it hopefully does. We do get to see a bit of him either before the end of the season, and I think, as I say, I think Ange's comments sort of suggested that maybe there could be a chance that he does extend his stay. I think you never know, if we win the league game or guaranteed Champions League, maybe it will convince players like Karamoko and even a different situation, but possibly a few of the loan players to make their stay a bit permanent. And just one other thing from last night, Danny. There was a banner about it last night. It's the sort of elephant in the room I don't think would be forgiven if we didn't speak about it. Celtic have announced that they are going to be part of the Sydney Super Cup, I believe it's called, in November. So it's in the winter break when the teams are broken up because the World Cup's obviously in the winter this year. Celtic will play against two A-League teams, but they will also play against Rangers, and for the first time in their history outside of Scotland in a friendly game in this Sydney Super Cup. There was a banner from what was in the standing section last night about sort of, we're not half of anything unless it wants to make us money, and there was fans singing "shove your friendly up your arse," and I believe on the other side up at Perth it was similar. It seems sort of unequivocal from the most part that people are opposed to this. What's your thoughts on it?
It's just ludicrous, isn't it, really? I mean, we've spoke for years about Premier League clubs going to the Far East and going to America and playing against each other, and how it devalues that game when it comes to a domestic setting. And now we're doing the exact same thing. I don't think Celtic or Rangers should be associating with each other forever. How much money you earn, and I've heard numerous rumours that we're getting 3 times what they're getting, but it still doesn't make up for the fact that you're basically, it's if at home it's that we're no half of anything, but when we're taking them out to Australia and we're luggage, it's showcasing the best of the Scottish game or whatever pass you on Australia. I mean, I feel bad for Postecoglou, because it's probably a great thing for him. He's probably buzzing to go back to his homeland and take his team with him. It's just, if they announced an Australian tour, everybody would get behind it. I'm sure you would have people wanting to go, and probably people that will go, but just bringing them ways, it sullies the whole thing, really. Just because it's a rivalry, and it's a deep-rooted rivalry. It's been going on for about 130 years, 140 years nearly. We don't want to associate with them, or we don't want them. They don't want to associate with us. We don't want to associate with them. And how the clubs have came together and thought this has got to be a good idea, even notwithstanding the fact that they've went apoplectic about it, right? That's funny, right? If you look at the way they've went on, that's quite funny. But because basically it's been dressed up as Ange Ball World Tour, Ange is coming home, and basically as if they're just coming for a laugh. So whilst that side's quite funny, it's just ludicrous. I know I wasn't that against it at the start. I thought, and I'm against it, don't get me wrong, and I kind of think the fixture's been devalued anyway over the years. I think it's lost a lot over the years. No more so when Rangers took the dummy out of the pram and basically banned away supporters. That devalued the fixture an awful lot. But I think for years it's been becoming less and less, and having the same sponsor as them for years, that devalued the fixture. But so this isn't. It shouldn't come as a shock to anybody that this is eventually happening. I think it's been on the cards for about 20 years. and they've obviously found a price that's suitable for them this time. But it's just that it's a joke, and nothing good can come of it. Because what happens if we go there and say they beat us in Ange's backyard, and we could be we could be 10, 15 points clear or behind them in the league next season at that point or whatever. I don't see what it serves other than hooring your sell out for money, Darren. It's don't get me wrong, I'll watch it. I'll fucking take a day off work or whatever and watch it at 8 in the morning, and I want Celtic to win, of course. But I don't see what either team get out this. Like if Celtic were going out there and playing 3 teams for the A-League, fucking parading Ange as if he was like fucking Julius Caesar before every game, you'd be like, do you know what? We're probably getting paid an awful lot of money and we're no harming anybody. But it just, I don't see what we get out of it, and I don't see what they get out of it. It's just, it makes a mockery of the fixture, which has already been fucking danced on for years anyway. But it just seems like a kind of new blow, if you know what I mean. It's like a new low for the fixture. I don't know. I think you're largely in the same boat as me.
Aye, absolutely. I'll be honest. I'm fucking disgusted by it. I think that the premise of Celtic going to Australia for this sort of Ange Ball tour in itself is fine. Like Celtic have done tours in America, tours in Australia, post-season tour in Japan. That's my personal favourite. But so that idea I don't have a problem with. But the fact that you're in cahoots with him, like I know you're saying it shouldn't surprise you, but for me it did, because I think the club have been quite strong in terms of, I know that came through Twitter, that we're not half of anything, but at the AGMs and that, when they've been asked, the club's often reiterated that they only sort of trademark the old firm slogan so that other people can't use it and they don't want anything to do with it, and the club itself is quite strong in making sure that they only refer to the derby as the Glasgow Derby now. And even a few weeks ago you had them out when the guy at Rangers was talking about bringing fans back. Celtic were quite rightly straight out saying, we'll decide how many fans you're getting at Celtic Park and no the other way about. But that's what sort of caught me off guard. I heard, when I heard the rumours, I sort of was like, well, maybe we'll just play both the A-League teams and both will just be there. And whilst it still wouldn't have been great, at least you weren't playing a friendly against them, because everything in the rivalry isn't friendly. And as you say, I think it does devalue it. Defenders of the game will point to it, say, look, you've got sort of Liverpool, Man U playing in New York, you've got the NFL in America playing games at Wembley and stuff like that. I know that clubs in our country struggle to attract as much sort of revenue as teams in England and whatever else, but this isn't the way you do it for me. I think there's enough of a fan base in Australia for Celtic, and I would guess for Ange, that they would have sold out stadiums anyway, and involving him, you could have chose pretty much any other team, and I think he would have still been able to have the same amount of success in terms of selling the stadiums out, because all you heard when Ange was appointed was all these Aussies coming on to say how loved he was and how good a job he was going to do. And look, Ange's doing a great job, but I don't think he's really going to have been behind the sort of commercial aspect of this. But clearly Celtic wouldn't have went into this without knowing that they were going to be. It's not like they've been blindsided and they agreed to play this tournament and then they've only just found out that it's Rangers. That's not the case, but I just don't think we should be associating with them in any sort of way, in this sort of commercial way, because you're just pairing them together, and this is a club and a fan base who constantly sing disgusting songs about our heroes like Jock Stein, the Lisbon Lions, Tommy Burns, even sort of Scott Brown's family as well. It's a fan base that hates us, that show our players and fans no respect, and to go in cahoots with them, I think it just sets a sort of unacceptable standard. And I know, I think it was Bisgrove or whatever his name is at Rangers says, this is, for playing these 2 games, you're going to get the equivalent of what the winners of the Premiership would get. And as I say, I just still don't think. I think you're sort of selling yourself to make ends meet. And I know the club lost a lot of money during COVID, but the recent accounts came out. We're not in any sort of financial trouble, and it's just something I don't think we should be a part of. And as you said, I know some people are who, like, I'm sure they have reservations against it, but they're just delighted because they, as you say, like the A-League trailer for it and that, and the posters, it is just sort of put up as an Ange Ball tour and welcome Ange home. Like, and I'll not lie, I've laughed as well when I've seen it, because it looks like the other side show, but I think the overall sort of heart rate, it shouldn't be happening. And with the reaction of our supporters and their supporters, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody dropped out of it. And to be honest, it probably would be most likely them. But I think the club have absolutely misjudged how this would be received. And, like, as I say, it's nothing to do with Angela players. I don't even know what sort of squad would be, because hopefully we've got, like, hopefully Scotland qualify and they've got players at the World Cup because you want to see them there. But even from a football point, as you mentioned, what if we are sort of 9-10 points behind somehow, and then we go there and they hammer our second team like 5-0 or 4-0, and then the pressure's right on Ange, because that's going to be fresh in their memory, and it could give them that sort of boost.
No, it'll be like, Dan, if we lose, it'll be, we don't play friendlies with them, so it's like, it's got to be a competitive game either way. Do you know what I mean? It's so misjudged, isn't it? But then the reason I'm not surprised is the Celtic board, when things are going well, the Celtic board like to get in their own way, and this just looks like another example of it, I'm afraid.
Aye, absolutely. And see, it's even what we were just talking about, Danny. Like, the thing is, like, even if this does get played, it's not going to get played like a friendly. We've just spoken about how Karamoko missed 6-7 months of the season because they are a robust challenge and a friendly. Like, there's every chance that would happen as well if we fucking go there. And, like, we've seen how much we've missed guys like Kyogo and David Turnbull and that. Imagine one of your players, I don't know, say Jota, say Portugal don't qualify for the World Cup, or he doesn't get picked for the team. Imagine you play that friendly and somebody goes fucking flying in on him and he misses 3 months of the season or something. It just, I don't really see, apart from the financial aspect, I can't see any upside there. And as I say, I think it would have been a commercial success if you'd have went with Celtic, 2 A-League teams plus 1 other team for Europe.
Aye, it would have been. I mean, even if it's 3 A-League teams, you can parade it as your Ange Ball World Tour, and you've got Ange coming home and all the rest of it. But see, even though, right, if they pull out and then they bring in another A-League team, it's not going to have the same bounce about it that it would have if they just announced, fucking, say Brisbane Roar because Ange played there, or Melbourne Victory because he's fair there. Say he brings one of them in after they pull out, because I do think they will pull out. I think their fans are more aggrieved than ours, because they have been treated like Celtic are bringing news in the luggage. If they were to pull out, but then if say Brisbane Roar get drafted or whatever, the day that we play them as Celtic fans, are they going to be like bouncing? It's got to be like, right, mind you tried to play them a day. So it would devalue the tour if they pull out and we need to bring in somebody in. It's already fucked anyway, don't get me wrong, but it's not as if they can make it right by them pulling out and bringing in another Aussie team, because it's kind of, I really don't know the reasoning. It's like, the way the clubs have been acting over the last couple of years is as if they don't want anything to do with each other. I mean, they started it with the reduced allocations and all that, and then they reduced the allocations, and then the first time they got Everest to beat us via a fucking deflection, and then they all make it as if, oh, we've cracked it. We've cracked it. We can beat them now, because it's the first time they beat us in about 10 years since they switched to our clubs. But no, like, then we won the league that year, and then we won the league the next year, and it's almost like, they might have beat us like in a couple of games, but they didn't. Like, it wasn't any strategic, but it was only last year. It was a freak fucking which now looks more like a freak season than ever. We no fans, even their fans are starting to question whether they're hindrance. And it's as if the two clubs didn't want anything to do with each other. They've been constantly snipping at each other for however long. Like, us, if it's not us on Twitter, it's them with their billboards directed at Celtic when they won the league and whatever. Which it's all fair game, but no, they want to be pals. They'll probably be back to fucking NTL, Carlin on the tap soon. It's just it's ludicrous. I don't think there's any justification for either. I think the way they're hitting us with the charm offensive about Ange and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really wash, because the question that you need to ask is, would we be going to Australia if they weren't? If they weren't coming, would we be going to Australia? I know both clubs haven't. I mean, well, that's a lie. Celtic never mentioned them. Celtic just said they were going to Australia, and then they came out and said, no, we're playing an Old Firm. Remember, it's an Old Firm. Aye, and then we'll be playing the Old Firm. And you're like, right, okay. Like, they were hanging on to us, but it's just, I don't think there's any justification. And I don't know about you, but I can't see anything good coming here. Even if we beat them, I can't see anything good. It's just, I mean, maybe you get a hostile crowd and the Aussies are all supporting Ange and they're mad. What if we have a disastrous start? What if we fuck the league this season and then have a disastrous start? Is it going to be like Lennon hanging on to win the Scottish Cup in December? Just let Ange hang on to take the team to Australia. It's just
instead of a fucking homecoming tour, it'll be a farewell tour.
Aye, like we just got to. Remember that when Aya scored that penalty, and we did 2 podcasts because one we wanted to celebrate a quadruple treble, and then in the other one we wanted Lennon to leave. And we just got to leave Andrew there. It's mental. It's crazy, and as much as listen, we're all behind Ange and he's going to win the league this year and he's going to do well with us, but it's just, I don't see anything good coming out of this.
Nah, I completely agree with you. I'm sure we'll speak about it more when the other 2 are back. I'm sure they'll have plenty to say as well, and who knows, there might be a few developments by the time they do join us again next week. But we'll move on. You're saying nothing good come out of that. Well, Celtic are going to the Tony Macaroni on Sunday to play Livingston, and in the last 15 years, Danny, nothing good's really come out of that for Celtic. I know I've only been there 5 times, so it's sort of a misleading stat when you say it like that, but Celtic are going to Livi looking to get their first win since February 2007. Can you tell me any of the goal scorers on that day? Do you remember? I know you're the encyclopedia at 4Tims.
Aye, Livi scored first, and then Darren Day, Derek Riordan, Vennegoor Hessling, Nakamura.
No, Riordan got a double. You're so close.
Did he? Oh, I did. Aye, Nakamura set them all up, but I think he's played a part in all 4 goals. I remember that day. I remember that. It's been pretty disastrous, innit? I know you set me up with a ticket a couple of years ago. We got beat 2-1. It's not been a happy hunting ground since, and I know we've no won there since that day, and obviously since Livi came back up, it's been a slog every time. And I remember going there 2 years ago, and I know we drew there 2-2, but Rangers get beat off Hamilton, if you remember. We actually stretched our lead at the top of the league before lockdown, and I've kind of got the same feeling about this game. I think it's going to be, no that we'll draw 2-2, I think it's, but I think if we can go there and win it, I says to you in October when they beat us, I says to you, listen, the next time you go to Livi, it's got to be absolutely huge, and we're going to win, and it's going to count for something. And I've got a feeling, I think that he put the Hibs ghost to bed. We hadn't won there in the league. I know we'd won there in the Scottish Cup, but we hadn't won there in the league since they get promoted. And Ange went and done it. And hopefully something similar happens. We know how they're going to line up. It's got to be down to us to stop them. Not looking forward to it, 'cause I'm not looking forward to any game at the minute, but I just hope Jack Marcus is fit. He uses a physicality up there that we're going to need. And I would, I know he'll not do it, I know he'll play 4-3-3. I would play a kind of 4-4-2 diamond. I would let the fullback stay wide, and I would play my head up front, like in the middle with Giakoumakis, and with a kind of tight midfield 4. And but does that mean dropping Abada and Jota? Probably it does, unless you ask maybe Abada to play him behind the strikers. But I just like to see him try something. I know he'll play 4-3-3, and listen, I still think we'll win if he does. But I just hope Jack Mattis is fit, because I'm trying to remember. I mean, that day I went there, Julian had a nightmare against Dykes, and obviously Ryan Christie gets sent off. But like, we've no lost. It's been all draws, isn't it? Apart from the last time we lost. But I think was it lost 3? Was it lost 2, drawn 3? That's right, innit? Or did they beat us last year on
Aye,
Dunley?
no, okay. No, it was
2 each,
well,
Manny?
aye. So they beat us 1-0 last time we were there.
Aye.
Then we had the 2 each with them, and it was 2-2. Aye, they didn't beat us last season. That was
It was 2 each.
They get a draw. That's right, because they get a draw with us at Celtic Park, not an each, and then we had most of the team back and drew 2 each. It was after the Dubai one.
That's right. Because I remember the first goal that night was just, the boy just had a free kick for about 30 years. They just dinked into the box, and this boy with long hair just teetered it in. Like it was like a goal you'd see down the park. It was fucking disastrous. And then I know that was 2 each the night Hamilton beat Rangers, and then we'd get beat 2-0 the time before, and then it was been draws in it. We drew not an each under
that 2 each draw when Hamilton won at Ibrox. McGregor scored a great goal that night.
Aye, but we won that up. We won that up, and then we just collapsed. And then Rogic scored in the last minute. It ended up in a soft point, but we were playing really well in that game up to, I think, we won that up half time, or did we lose a goal right before half time and then lose one right after half time? I think we lost a goal either side of half time pretty quickly. But you need to get that out of your mind. You know what I mean? You can't just think about that. It's kind of one of the things, isn't it? Like, nobody can really understand why. Like, people say, it's because Livi play this system, but every team plays 2 banks of 5 against us, or 2 banks of 4 with a guy just sitting, or a bank of 5 and a 4. You know, it's not as if sitting in's fucking duties. It just seems to be that for whatever reason we've not managed to win there, and it's not the ground you want to be going to when you're going for a league. But listen, I'm hoping for a result for Ibrox on Saturday for Aberdeen, so it takes a wee bit of pressure off us. But if we, there's no excuses for Celtic, is there? We need to go there and win. And I'm hoping for something different. I'm hoping for that he's learned a lesson for last time, because I remember it being really poor the last time we went in, and we didn't look like scoring. And I think Yeti played up front, didn't he? He wasn't very good, but it was a fucking slog. And I'm just hoping for, obviously, I think we're a far better team than we were then, but we had played quite well in September, so I don't know. But it'll be nervy. It'll be another nervy game, I think, and we're just going to need to grind it out. But the team have shown that they're good enough at doing it.
Do you think I've put the team under more pressure? Because I tried to unnerve Livi the other week when I played Marvin Bartley and beat the pundit, and he beat me if I done Anja.
Well, that's already one that in Livingston, isn't it? So the team are already played for behind. So maybe we'll get cancelled on Sunday night if we don't win.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's one of the games. Like, I know, as you say, there's this sort of mentality thing where people say, we can't play against Livi. They're going to this is where we'll drop points. And look, as I say, it's 15 years since we won there, but we've only played them 5 times and only lost twice. And even the Celtic Park game earlier in the season, I know we ended up drawing that each, but fucking you get that golden opportunity in the injury time when Giakoumakis hits the worst penalty all time. And it reminds me a bit of when we went to Easter Road for the first time this season, and there was this whole, no one there since 2014, this is a tough way to go. And what Celtic done, which is all they need to do on Sunday, is Celtic turned up that first half at Easter Road and absolutely blitzed Hibs and played some of the best football they've played all season. And I think the more you focus on Celtic, then that's all we need to do. We need to play our game, and if we're on it, we should win. And I think we will win. Don't get me wrong, I'm fucking shitting it. It's sort of, I'm more fear of this than I was some cup finals recently, especially on like think about fucking cup finals under Rodgers. I was always confident getting in them. This is a game that I've get fucking big nerves for. Just because as much as I'm saying that about if Celtic turn up, then that's all that matters. I'm obviously worried because just because it is in your head, and like as you say, like you've been there at Tony Mac when we've dropped points, and I'm the same. We've seen us get beat there as well. It's one at Celtic. I think it's vitally important because the way the top six is working out, I know there's a few teams been up and down recently, so it might change. But the way it's going to work is that it's looking likely that Celtic will have to go to a top six team, at least one of them, maybe two. We're going to have to go with them 3 times, and usually the way the SPFL do it is it's the team in 5th or 6th that you're forced to go to away 3 times, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was Livi come the split. And for me, that makes it even more important that we do go there and win and show that we can win. And
I thought they were top 6.
Huh?
I've said it's important that we go there and win on Sunday and knock them out the top 6.
Aye, I think they went up to 4th last night. Aye, that's what I'm saying. It's a tough one. Whoever is in the top 6, it's probably. I hope it isn't them because, as you say, you rarely won there. But they do seem on a sort of upward trajectory at the moment. But no, I think the team's in a decent place. I think that last night would have helped sort of settle some nerves because if we'd have dropped points, obviously the team would have been sort of questioned again. But the fact that you're going there and most of the stadium will be Celtic fans, I'm sure. It's like for Livi, it's usually one of the easier away games to get tickets for, but everybody seems to be searching for them, so I think the fans are up for it. There's no way that Ange won't have the team up for it. And look, you already spoke about it, Dan. I think Giakoumakis is vital for it. I know just because I think, like, I'm not expecting it. Well, I'm not going to be surprised when it's a physical game, but Giakoumakis has just been. I think he's been great since the turn of the year, and he's a different type of striker to Maeda, and I actually think Maeda, as I mentioned the other day, I think he's better out wide. So if Giakoumakis is back, it just helps us in that sort of regard. And I probably would go with the same team. I know Hatati's maybe the one who's getting questioned a bit now, but I really like Tom Rogic when he came off the bench last night. I says that using the group chat earlier. I think that when he came on and St Mirren had been chasing shadows for the previous 65 minutes, that Rogic looked brilliant, and I think Andrew's used to him last night was superb. And it is one of the games where your subs are going to be just as important. And I know you were talking about the quality and depth that we've got. I think having guys like Rogic and even James Forrest and Karamoko, the likes, would be massive on Sunday. And is it as big a game as people make it, or is it just a sort of this the end of the season, every game's this big, Danny?
No, it is as big. It is as big. I think for as much as I've said there's no real rhyme or reason why we go to Livingston and don't win, the fact is we've been going to Livingston and no won. So now the fact that we're 3 points clear, could be level on points with a superior goal difference come Sunday, we need to go win there. And it's a blow to them as well if we go win, because a lot of them have kind of got us down as already dropped points, and it just sends a message that we're up for it, and we're up for the title fight, we're up for the run in. And it would be such a monkey off the Celtic fans back as much as the players if we're to go there and win. There would be of, like, say we go there and win, right, and then the next game, if we're no 2-0 up after 20 minutes, there'll no be any groans. There'll be I think there'll be more an acceptance that, you know what, they worked it out last time they went to a tough away ground and won. For whatever reason, it's a tough away ground for us. It is a big game. Every game is big at a stage of the season, but this one does take on kind of an importance to us just because of recent history. It would be the same, for example, say Rangers were away to Kilmarnock this weekend or something, you know, the way they've been going on at Kilmarnock the last couple of years. I know Kilmarnock are in the league anymore, but you know what I mean. It would just take on an added importance, and that's just how it is for us. If we're going to, like, don't get me wrong, I think if we could no win at Livi, and I think we'll still win the league, but if we're going to win the league, you kind of really need to put it. If you win the league, you look back and you would think, right, well, we hadn't won at Hibs in years, we went to Hibs and won. If we're to win on Sunday and going to win the league, you'll be looking back when we do the end of your review, and I'll guarantee you, you'll say, well, to win the league, you need to go and win it places. You didn't win it last year, and we never won at Hibs last year, and we never won at Livi, so if we can win at Livi, it'll be massive. Know that we won at many places last year, but no, it is important. It's really important. It's just through circumstance. It's just, Livingston away, it shouldn't be this important. Even at this stage in the season, you'd be looking to go, well, every game's big at this stage, but for whatever rhyme or reason, this game is massive. And I think you're right. I think the team will be up for it. I think the manager will have a team up for it. Hopefully he's done a wee bit of homework on Livingston, although when they played Rangers out at home, they decided to go for it and play 4-4-2. I mean, a high line of defence. And I think the manager will probably have learned for that, so they'll be back to the 5-4-1 come Sunday. But no, it's got to be a massive game.
Yeah, I'll put you on the spot. What's your prediction for it?
Well, I'll give you a team, because I'm just thinking about this as we go along. I would play Hart, and then I would go Juranovic, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor, and then I would play Gucci at the base of a diamond. I know you'll know, but if I was the manager, this is what I would do. And then I would play Gucci, Hatate, McGregor, and I would play O'Reilly in front of them. Wait, Maeda and Jackie Marcus up front, and I would say to Maeda, just you follow Jackie Marcus. Wherever the ball goes in the air, you go after it, he'll flick it on you, work off him. And then, if things aren't going so well and you need to change it, you can always bring Jota if you've got a winger, and Maeda can go and play it wide anyway. So that's what I would do. But a prediction, I'm going to say 2-0 Celtic. I think it'll be nervy, but I think the inclusion of Jackie Marcus will be key, and I think he'll score both goals, and they'll be either side of half time. But it'll be nervy and it'll be tough, but we'll come away with the 3 points and we'll still be top of the league.
Aye, I'm going to go for I've already said that I think it'll pretty much be the same team that plays on Sunday, so I'm not going to create some share everybody's aware who played last night, but I'm going to go. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I think it's going to be 1-0. I think it's going to be tight as fuck, and I can only see the one goal in it. And I don't know. I hope Jackie Marcus is back. My worry is that I don't know if Angel put him in for a start. We don't know what the type of illness he had and how much training he's had. I know he has been quoted as saying he's back, but obviously with him not been on the bench last night, that's maybe shown that that could be where he starts on Sunday. So I'll go for a different goal scorer. And do you know what? I'm going to go for Josip Juranovic. He's had a few attempts in the last few games that have sort of went right out of the bar, but he's either going to score one of them or we'll get a penalty and he'll tuck it away. I think Celtic will stay top of the league. Well, obviously they're not going to go and win 10-0 on Saturday, so I don't think there's any doubt we won't be top of the league when we're back. But look, hopefully we get a favour on Saturday for our old captain Scott Brown. They have played them twice this season, and Aberdeen have not been beaten, so hopefully that continues and we do go in with a chance to extend our lead. And if we do get a 1-0 win, then that'll put us in a very nice position with 8 games to go in the league. But just somebody I mentioned there, Josip Juranovic, we are delighted to be working with footy prizes again. I'm sure you remember them. We had a few great prizes we gave away towards the end of last year. It was stuff like Kyogo signed shirts, Henrik Larsson framed shirt, and a few other things. Well, delighted today we are back and we are working with them again. And the first prize that they've got up now, so anybody that's not seen the website before, it's a sort of raffle, sort of stroke bonus ball sort of thing where they sell tickets for a piece of Celtic gear that's decent, and this one they've got is a signed and framed Celtic shirt from our number 88, Josip Juranovic. It was very much became a fan favourite. I'll put pictures of this up on the Twitter and the Facebook, wherever you're getting your podcast as well. I'm sure you'll be able to find it, and you've got the chance to win that for only £3.95. What you do is you go to Footy Prizes, go and find that, buy your tickets, and if you use the code 4TIMS, then you will get 10% off your ticket price as well. So I think it's just about $3.60, and that's my standard grade maths talking. So if that's not right, then I'm sure you'll be able to see when you put your tickets in your basket how much it is. But that's a cracking prize to get us started again. We've got a few more coming up, so stay tuned. That is open until Thursday the 10th of March at 7:30, so make sure you get your tickets by then. And hopefully one of you wins it and can let us know when you do. Also, just before we go, I just wanted to mention, a few of you might have seen on Twitter or Facebook, we are looking, it's very early stages, so please don't take us word for word, but we are looking to sort of grow our 4Tims network. Like the four of us work in the last year and a half or so, or we've been offered a few more opportunities in terms of getting to work with the Celtic B team, the women's team, and getting to go and watch them and like report on them. And it's something that we've not really had a chance to embrace because, as I say, four of us all work full time, so it's pretty tough to cover it all. But we are looking to maybe add a few people to the 4Tims family, and we just thought we'd put it out on here to see if anybody's interested. We've had a great response on Twitter already, and look, it might be the sort of perfect opportunity for somebody, maybe a upcoming sports journalist in college or uni or whatever, or you're just thinking about getting in it and it's something you're interested in. We'd be delighted to speak to you. The way to do it is to get in contact with us at 4timspodcast@gmail.com. Just drop us a wee email, let us know a bit about yourself. If you're a sort of student, that would be good to add in as well, just so we know who we're dealing with. And we will get back to you. As I say, if you've already sent in your email, we are just giving it a few days until we have a look at it. But it's been a great response so far, and we will be in touch with everybody that has responded, just to sort of let you know that we appreciate everybody that's messaged so far. Danny, would you encourage anybody to join this fucking mad podcast?
Absolutely, why not? I mean, we always have a right good laugh before we record and after we record or whatever, and we are, I can only speak for myself, but I'm a really nice guy. No, it's a good, listen, we do get a lot of invites to press conferences, invites to like B team games, women's team games that we simply can't get it because we're working, or, you know, and it is gutting when you look at the group chat and it's like, oh, it's Postecoglou tomorrow, and I'm going, aye, great, you know, I'm back at the office full time, and it was different when I was working from home. Maybe I could dip in and out of some of these things, and did get to talk to Mr. John 10 Games Kennedy last year, which was a tremendous honour for myself. But it's great. The opportunities are great. It's just unfortunate for us that most of the time we are working, and we can't always cover it. And I know Tony likes to do it, and I know we all like to do it, but I know Tony likes to kind of make sure he can try and do it. But even sometimes he's came up short, and we have struggled. So if somebody can come in and not just do that for us, you know what I mean, but obviously come on the pod and give their side, we're always looking for new opinions, aren't we? So it's got to be. I mean, I've been overwhelmed personally by the emails that are coming in and the tweets that are coming in and people, and it is good because, you know, it's at the end of the day we're just four pals, you know what I mean. Like if we weren't recording this, me and you'd be having this conversation now anyway, you know, me and you'd be talking. You know, it's not as if we say one thing in the group chat and then we come on here and say different in the group chat. It's basically just like fucking one long podcast, isn't it? So we are just four pals that talk an awful lot of rubbish about Celtic, and a lot of people have kind of grown to like it, which obviously we're flattered about. But it would be good to get more people on and more people involved because why no? Do you know what I mean? Everybody else seems to have different people. Why can't we know? So it's a great. I don't want to sound like a pure pompous arsehole and say it's a great opportunity for something, but it genuinely is because, you know, you're going to be talking to Postecoglou, you're going to be talking to a Celtic player, you're going to be going to games, getting in, you know, for nothing. And if you're, I mean, especially if you're a young journalist, like, you know, like a young budding trainee journalist, like I was myself one day, I'd have loved to have been able to go and do things like that, just for experience, because I know, I mean, don't want to get all fucking personal, but it took me so long to get a job after I left uni, after I graduated, and it's probably because I never had experience. So you're offering somebody that experience, Dan. It's got to be a great opportunity for somebody to join the team. And, you know, personally I'm buzzing at the response so far, and hopefully we find the right person soon. Is that good enough? Did I say it?
You've read that word for word. I'll take a gun down for your head now. No, it's like you say, like, and it's opportunities for people. That's why I don't think it's exclusively sort of limited to like journalists. But like I done my HNC in journalism as well. I didn't fucking pass it. I dropped out in about May, so that's how well it went for me. But it's like you say, it's a great opportunity, and even if you're fucking, maybe you are interested in the women's team, you want to check up on the B team, like, it's the type of opportunities that as I say, we just don't have the time often enough. Like, I'm sure, like Tony, as you mentioned, he's quite flexible, and so he's able to get to most of them. But we'd love to have other people on board who are up for going for us, and well, not going for us, being part of the pod teams and that. Like, it's something that we've been thinking about, and we've only really got into it. And I would say if you're in that way and you're a bit daunted by like talking to Celtic players or talking to the manager or just anything like that, like they're generally like they know when it's the fan media that's asking. Like, you can tell in the sort of responses they're very accommodating, they're very nice. You're not going to fucking make an ass of yourself. I know some people think they would, but trust me, I've been on that when I was first in them and I was speaking to players. You're just worried you're going to make an ass of it, but the more you do it, you realise that they can sense the passion for you. And so, aye, as I say, email 4timspodcast@gmail.com if that's something you're interested in. But Danny, I don't know how we've done it, but it's close to an hour we've been recording now, and that's I'm gone for just a wee match reaction and match preview. But we'll be back in after Sunday, hopefully with a victory. And I'll let you take us out, Dan.
Just like you, it's been an hour. Time flies when you're having fun and you've not got the two to get in your way. But no, they'll be back on Sunday, hopefully full team for it, hopefully as a reaction pod to a very good win. Maybe even a Spaces if it's particularly good. I know people like the Sunday Spaces. Some people like it far too much, but thanks for listening, and hopefully we're all on the one road to another 3 points and another step closer to this league title.